A young prince and his hunting companions follow a stag through a forest on Midsummer Day. They pause before a colossal stone figure of Ugg, the god of fear, which has long blocked the white path leading heavenward up the hill. The people, it develops, come here this very night for the annual human sacrifice to Ugg. The prince laughs his scorn of the god of fear, and almost at the same moment the ominous sunset shadow of the colossus falls on the young man. Evening comes as the princely party pass on in pursuit of the stag. Furred and feathered denizens of the wood appear. Trip, the brown-faced fairy master of the grove, swings to the tail of a huge bear, but gives up his teasing to take his music lesson from a bird. When the moon floods the place, servitors arrive to prepare for the rites. Their mortal eyes are blind to Trip, but they see Ugg all too plainly. Trip amuses himself by adding to their terror. Upon their departure, Trip warns colossal Ugg that he may not always dominate mankind, and conjures up a procession of the fallen gods of fear who at one time or another have blighted man's joyous world. When men wrestled with their fear, Trip declares, each dreadful one vanished. As Trip runs off after his bear, a party of priests arrives, and a neophyte learns from the others the legend of the ancient pact, which forces them to sacrifice a youth on each midsummer night, and of how Ugg always sends a blood-red dawn to show that he is appeased. A patriarch priest recites a mythical promise of a final sacrificial night, when the victim shall lift his eyes and call some power, not of earth, to aid him, some power that shall utterly destroy old Ugg and send a white dawn to swallow up the red in token of a nobler day. Who spent men? Shepherds, huntsmen, warriors, king, high priest, prince, jester, scribe, nobles, lords. The world in fact arrive, and in a mighty chorus voice their trembling tribute to the god. The king names as the new defenders of great Ugg a list of youths who have done valiantly. At the chief warrior's demand, the name of the proud young prince is added to the list. It is hardly intended that the prince shall stand with other defenders before the table of secret stones by which Ugg makes his choice of a victim, but at the jester's taunt, the prince leaps from the throne, steps to claim his place, and presently the blackened stone falls to his royal hand. The king protests, and so does the prince, though not through fear of death. The high priest allows no questioning of Ugg's choice. The prince calls his father to lead in rebellion against old Ugg. The high priest forces from the king's unwilling lips a story that shows the terrible consequences of revolt. The wretched prince consents to die. Fanatics perform their wild dance of ritual. The company leaves the victim to his prayers, while it feasts in a glade nearby. The departing high priest offers the prince sophist consolation. The jester offers liquor, with a song that tells him why men drink. The deserted prince begs Ugg to promise that no other victim shall come after him, and when no answer comes, the prince turns away and gropes helplessly among the trees. His hands encounter a mighty trunk. He sees for the first time how calmly the tree stands amidst the horrors of this place. In ecstasy, he calls to the unseen spirit of the trees to bring him balm. That very call unseals the prince's eyes to Trip, who drops down from the air. The fairy tells the story of the friendly trees. He calls Ugg a mere rock that men with their evil imaginings and lack of faith have carved into a terror god. The prince protests the awe of Ugg when Trip flies to the shoulder of the colossus and lifts a nestling dove from the terrifying beak. The prince's ears are open so that he hears the fairies as they pipe and call. Good Trip reveals the talismanic key growing at their feet, which enables the prince to see the dainty woodfolk as they play and spurn the ground. The transported prince desires to fetch the king and priests, and all the company to share his sparkling vision, but Trip reminds him sadly that blindness binds all of them, since none has ever lifted up his eyes and called. Shouts tell that the company is returning to sacrifice the victim. The prince beseeches Trip to remain, but the fairy declares this useless. He is touched by the prince's plight, and before he whisks away, he gives the wisest counsel he knows. He bids the needy youth anoint his eyes once more with faith and look where the redwood fingers point him. The prince tries to make his people understand something of what has been revealed to him, but fails utterly. In discouragement, he disrobes for the sacrifice. Red dawn is already showing in the hideous face of Ugg. The naked youth is lifted high by the priest to be tossed into Ugg's arms, from which he must drop into the flames. Suddenly, Tripp's pipe is heard close by. The prince is aroused. He struggles out of the priest's grasp, leaps to a rock, and lifts up his soul to the god where point the redwood hands, declaring the ancient promise of deliverance now fulfilled in him. The forest trembles with the thunder of Ugg's doom. Lightning rends the colossus. Great Ugg sinks down in bits of dust. The whited path to heaven, which so long he held fast, is seen to lead on to the joyous summit of the mount. Celestial beings in majesty descend to commune with men. As the throng moves upward over the very spot where once was Ugg, the world chorus of rejoicing grows until it fills all space. The red dawn that once spoke Ugg's sway is swallowed in a crystal morn, the breaking of a day of which the hearts of men had hardly dared to dream.